Well, you know what's funny? I start off, I think, every stream podcast so far, it has started off with the word well. Well. It's just like it's like we've already been, you know what, actually, that's a rather endearing thought. It's like we've already been in a conversation, right? It's just like, well, and then we're just starting a new topic. Let's think of it like that. That's a rather adorable thought, by the way. So, hello, good evening, everybody who's attending the RussRantz live stream, and hello, good day, evening, night, morning to all of you who have been marvelously supporting and listening to the RussRantz podcast. Good golly. Y'all were hiding, and now y'all are coming out of the woodwork? This is crazy. There you go, Canned. Perfect. Continuing Convos with Russ. Is that the name of the new podcast? Continuing Convos with Russ. It's just crazy, man. It's funny. And weirdly enough, like back when I first... When the podcast was at its peak, per se, the biggest platform for the podcast was, I think, Apple Podcasts. I think it was about 60% of listeners listen to the RussRantz podcast on Apple. And Spotify was a close second. I was like, that's fantastic. And YouTube was like fourth or fifth. Like it was a afterthought, was YouTube. It is completely flopped on its head. Now, YouTube, all of you guys who are watching this later, hi. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm humbled, and it's fantastic. But yeah, like, the YouTube channel, the last week's episode, I think got 3 to 4 times more views and listens than audio. I don't understand it. So thank you. First and foremost, just want to get that right off the bat. Thank you so much for your continued support of the RussRantz podcast. Again, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, twitch.tv/RussRantz. Hope y'all are doing great. It is friggin' blizzarding in late April here in Alberta. It is blizzarding. I just finished dropping my parents off. They're going to the UK for a few weeks. And it took an hour and a half round trip to get to the airport, which is 20 minutes away from my house. Holy smokies, man. It's crazy. But it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Very thankful to be here. Very thankful to be up in front of you. And tonight, hey, listen, all y'all podcast listeners, okay? I'm just going to plug it again here because I got to. Tonight, the night of this live recording, Tuesday, it is community night. Right after this, we're going to play some Jackbox games. We're going to have a lot of fun, okay? So if you ever are like, you know what? Tuesday nights have lost their flair. Tuesday nights have lost their pizzazz. Thank you, Axel. Heck yeah. They've lost their pizzazziness. And you're like, my Tuesdays lack flavor. Well, guess what? Every other Tuesday at RussRantz, twitch.tv/RussRantz, you can come do community night where you get to hang with us. We got some awesome people like Axel, Canned, Tonic, Renegade, Orden, Pineapple. There's tons of people, okay? With crazy weird names. Because mine's boring. I've gone through this already. I won't rehash it. But RussRantz, I'm not convinced that it's the sexiest name out there. But it's the name I have been given. It's the name I've run up with thus far. So anyways, again, great to be here. It's Tuesday. It's community night. We're recording a nice, wonderful episode. Oh, yes, and a nice little update for y'all. Please not for the birds. Hey, man, I will do whatever I freaking want. Canned. I will pick whatever word. Yeah, watch. Just watch. I'll just up and do a name. And you're going to be like, oh, no. And I'm going to be like, oh, yes. It's not RussRantz anymore. I'll swoop down on all of y'all. Quick update. I have landed a guest for it's a few episodes out. They can't record until early to mid-May. How dare you, Canned? Good golly. For the birds, Big L. You know what, Rad? Go back to bed. You grumpy man. Dadgummit. We've got a guest. I don't want to spoil it, but it is a professional athlete. Ooh, professional athlete. That's going to be a lot of fun. Through my various connections through the network. It's going to be really good. They're good friends of mine-ish to a degree, but they like me enough to be on the podcast, which is going to be awesome. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and so we've got that coming up in mid-May. Up until then, I believe you're going to have to bear with me unless I can land another guest here before then. I can already tell by tonight it's going to be a bit chaotic. What is this? Axel, but being from Alberta, it would have to be Fur the Birds. Okay, yeah, I got you, like the fur. Gotcha, that's the nickname it should be. Can I bad the streamer? Can you ban the streamer? How bloody dare you? And then, Rad, Johnny regular season hockey. No, shut up. Although that would be pretty dope. I don't care who y'all are. I don't care what your favorite hockey team is. If Johnny Gaudreau was on the podcast, that would still be pretty cool. All right, focus, Russ. Focus. Why are we here? Everyone else listening is like, I can't read the chat. I don't know what you're talking about. Why is this so chaotic? It's because people are here to troll, and it's marvelous. Here's the funky thing. All right, here's the funky thing. I obviously have gone on a tangent here these last few weeks, right? It was grateful but not content. It takes a village. It's been kind of some themes on my mind lately about progress, as usual, moving forward, your life, satisfaction. Does it enrich you? Does it do something for you or does it do something to you? Fun stuff, okay? And I was trying so hard, you guys. I was like, oh man, Russ, like, we've got to have a more fun topic, have something crazy and light and fluffy. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. But I couldn't shake it for the entire week. I was like, what do I want to talk about? What's something that the RussRantz podcast wants to tackle? And it just kept punching me in the face for the entire week. For the entire week, and it's the concept of progression. It's the concept of increments. It's the concept of growth. Fun times, hey? You're all welcome. It's funny. I think maybe we all can relate to this, but we often disqualify ourselves from progress, and that's going to be a thought I'm going to come back to later. We disqualify ourselves from progress because we have unspoken expectations of what good results look like, right? I think I mentioned that my good friend, he experienced a terrible loss in his life a few weeks back. Maybe I didn't mention this. I'll just rehash it just in case I haven't. It's been a long week, all right? So one of my good friends, it was in last week's RussRantz podcast, It Takes a Village. I connected with him after a few years. He suffered a very tragic, sad loss in his family, and I reached out to him. We connected. It was awesome. And, thankfully I have a good enough relationship with this person where I'm like, hey, what's next? And I want to stress this really quickly. I don't recommend that you always ask someone in mourning. Like, you have to know the person, okay? And I'm not making light of this. I'm just saying, like, now that in retrospect I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I have a relationship with this person, because if they didn't know my heart behind it, man, I could just be this insensitive a-hole. And they're like, how bloody dare you, man? I'm trying to grieve here. It's been like a week of this loss. Just bear with me. But, we had a great conversation. I could tell by the way they were talking to me that they were processing it healthily, which is awesome. And so I just said, hey, what's next? What are the next steps for you? You've obviously experienced this terrible loss. It was their spouse. And that's huge. Like, can you imagine? And they had lost their spouse. And I just said, how you doing? We had a good talk. And I said, what does next look like for you, kind of? Like I said, even if you don't have an answer, just, I wanted to check in and say, like, how can I support you? What are we doing next? And he's like, what's crazy? A week before I lost my spouse, I just by happenstance ventured into a guitar store. And I just said, I'm just going to give myself a look. I've been under a lot of stress, my spouse going through a lot of health problems. And I said, I'm just going to look. We're just going to look at guitars. And I don't know if you guys are into music or anything like that, but I taught in a conservatory in Medicine Hat for 3 years, drums. And whenever I would go on my breaks from drum lessons, I'm just going to take a drum break. Yeah. I would go downstairs because I taught in the second story, which is, by the way, a terrible place for a drum studio, is above a music store because you can hear everything, okay? But during my breaks, I would go down to the main music store area. It was awesome. It was a 2-story building. Top story was all for lessons. The bottom story was the huge, huge instrument area. It was marvelous. And it even smelled awesome because of the acoustic guitars and the brand new sound equipment. It sounds weird, but it is a strangely awesome, cathartic feeling. And so I could understand what my friend was. He's like, I walked into the guitar store, just said, I'm just going to give it a look-see. And he's like, and it felt amazing. And I don't play music. He's like, I've tinkered here and there, but I've never really tried. And I looked around, I was like, and this is him talking to me. He's like, and I decided then and there, I was going to try to practice. I was going to try to learn the guitar. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That's outstanding. Congrats. And they just said, yeah, like, I'm going to go for it. Why not? And so, they said, I'm not going to buy a guitar today. I'm going to come back. And they came back eventually. And, he said, this guitar was just a beautiful color. And I decided to buy it with a monitor. And he says, and I signed up for lessons. And I'm like, what? And so he said, you know what, man, during this season, I've just been playing. And I think that's where I said it in Grateful But Not Content. Maybe I didn't. But he just said it just brings joy to me. It just brings me life. It just brings excitement. I look forward to playing the guitar. Now, my brother and I had total opposite experiences. My oldest brother did conservatory piano, and I did crazy hardcore drum practicing, and I had to write music and before I became a teacher and all that fun stuff. And for us, eventually music became work. And that's not what this podcast is about, okay? We've already talked about this type of topic. What I want to talk about is how marvelously and beautifully innocent that little concept is. Isn't it? I actually found myself envying my friend, not their loss, to get your mind out of the gutter. It wasn't due to their loss. It was due to the pure innocent joy of experiencing and discovering something that's really cool and just saying, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to try it. Because here's how my mind works. And I know I've explained this before. You know how you do the math in your head? Why even bother? Have any of you guys ever done that? I do that all the time. When I look at something fun, exciting, or new, or different, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. And then for a split second, my brain's like, maybe I could try that. And then immediately after that split second is another split second where it's like, no. Why even bother? That would be so hard. What's the point? You're not even, it's not even, you're not going to be good at it. It's going to take a lot of time. You don't have enough time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's you do the quick math. And what starts out as a really cool thought, well, maybe I could try that, becomes, why even bother? It's too hard. Or I'm not going to be as good as that guy. Or et cetera. And it's funny because I say that this topic kept punching me in the face, the power of incremental growth, is because I've been on a health journey for the last 3 years. It first started with eating right, and then it started with working out and eating right, and now I work out a decent amount, and I'm not perfect on the eating, but I've kind of built a habit, and 30 pounds later, I've been able to keep it, which is awesome. But the most exciting part I'm finding right now is that my family is getting excited about, doing some exercising and changing their habits to better their life. My father, kudos to him, he pulled me aside and he's like, look, I hate the gym, but I do want to get in better shape. He's in his mid-50s. He's like, I do want to get in better shape. I'm not getting any younger. I got all these grandkids and I want to have some energy, but I'm just worried that, a gym, he's like, I just really hate gyms. I said, Dad, I'm the same as you. I hate gyms. I don't like it. I mean, I've done them for years, but I'm not. And obviously with the pandemic and everything, it just didn't work out that way. Now, what I do is a program. And I told him, I was like, I do a program called P90X3. It's 30 minutes and you can do it at home. A lot of it's no weights, which is awesome. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that though. He's like, I've seen some of those videos, Russ, and you've shown me some clips of like some of these hard workouts you do. He's like, I can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like anyone can do it. He's like, well, no, I can't do it as well as you can. Well, yeah, I would expect you can't because you haven't been doing them as long as I have. He's like, well, I'm not going to know what to do, and I'm not going to do them perfectly. I'm going to be looking up at the screen all the time because I don't know what moves they're doing. I'm like, yeah, how do you think I did it at the very beginning? I was looking up all the time. I didn't know what I was doing. I was terrible at stretching. I wasn't flexible. I didn't have balance, blah, 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 blah. And I said, Dad, look, all you can do is try. Let me give you like 3 to 5 exercises and just see how you feel. And just don't compare yourself to me or how you think you should be. Just do you. Honestly, just do it your way and say, did I do as good as I could? Let's see what happens. And I have mixed feelings because I was like, I was excited for him, but I didn't know if it would stick because I love my father. But sometimes he gets tunnel vision in other areas of his life, and this kind of would take a back seat. But he texted me on a Monday, and he was obviously out of breath. He calls me, or he calls me actually. He didn't text me. He's like, hey, I just did this workout number 1 that you showed me. And he's like, that was killer. That was a terrible, awesome workout, man. I am feeling it. And I'm like, Dad, congrats, dude. That's awesome. That's outstanding. He's like, yeah, I didn't do half the workouts though. Like I was on my knees most of the time. I'm dying here. I said, Dad, that doesn't matter. You tried for the 30 minutes. You're obviously out of breath. Your body worked, man. You're calling me, which I love, just to celebrate. And I want to celebrate with you. Like, great job. He's like, yeah, I'm going to try to do this other one tomorrow. But you're right. I do kind of feel really like satisfied. Like I did something. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Next day goes by. I get the same phone call right after supper. Same thing, out of breath. He's like, man, he's like, that was a bit more fun than the other one because it has some different exercises. But like this feels like I'm winning. And I said, great, how are the exercises? He was like, they were really tough. I did the modifier. There's 3 people in every workout video, and there's a modifier, middle tier, and then like advanced. And he's like, I did the modifier the entire time. I said, Dad, that's perfectly fine. I get it because I get my high threshold for perfection or high threshold of performance from my dad. Highly performance oriented, and I can see where his brain's going. He's like, that guy's doing it, I should be able to do it. And that's a healthy mentality. That's a healthy competitive mentality. I appreciate that ambition. But the problem is here, chat, and everyone listening, is that we have to think of anything we try, whether for enjoyment, personal development, whether, whatever, physical, musical, educational, whatever. Before we do that instant math in our head, and we let that instant math immediately deflate and extinguish the desire to maybe even try it or approach it, I would say you got to take a moment to think, what is the incremental first step I could take? Right? Don't think, well, I'm never going to be as good as that guy. First off, we are comparing people that are already doing it. Again, it's like my dad trying to well, I can't do it as good as you. That's not even a metric we're trying to hit here. I mean, the standard of working out is not trying to do it like Russ. Trust me, it is not. Okay? No, the video is not coming out anytime soon. No shot. Okay, y'all don't need to see my sweaty body trying to do awkward stretches and workouts. Okay? But that's how it makes sense, is being like, well, I don't want to work out. Well, why not? Well, because I know that I'm not going to know the exercises as well as you do. What does that mean? Yeah, not yet. It takes time. And also, what is the real goal? Is the real goal working out as well as Russ, or is the workout goal being healthy? Do you see what I mean? We can do that for any hobby we want to do. Well, I want to build a house of cards, but I'm not going to be that good, and it's going to take a lot of work. Yeah. If you want to try it, try it. It is going to take some work. You are going to suck at it at first, but maybe eventually you're going to get the hang of it, and then you're going to have that awesome endorphins releasing aha moment where you're like, whoa, I'm getting the hang of card house building. and you're going to find that secret tactic, or you're going to get the feel for it, and you're going to love it. Like, who knows if that's going to be a hobby you love? Why card house building? I don't know. I just thought it came to my mind, okay? I can tell you right now, I have talked myself out of countless hobbies because I just immediately compared to the people that were teaching it. Well, it's going to take way too long to get as good as that guy. What is that? Is that the goal? Is that what you want? Now, in the past, like I said, admittedly, that was the unhealthy mentality I had. That was the wrong mentality, where I was like, I don't want to try something unless I can master it. I don't want to try something unless I can be the best. I don't want to try something unless it makes me better or does something for me, right? That's that back to that grateful but not content episode. Like it's been on my mind, chat, because honestly, I've been getting wrecked. My mentality has been getting wrecked by my own self-awareness of my expectations, unhealthy expectations. Where I'm like, holy crap, Russ, get off your high horse. Like, how much pride do I have to be like, I don't want to do archery unless I can be better than Robin Hood. I don't even want to try skating because I know that my friend has played hockey since he was 6, and I know I'm not going to be as good as him. Like, I can tell you that goes through my mind all the bloody time. A lot of my friends are into hockey. And I don't mean like following hockey, I mean playing hockey. All of their kids are in hockey. They love skating. They're coaching hockey. They're in all the practices and the tournaments. Can I tell you right now, I have zero desire for hockey. Yet frustratingly, I know as a parent, if my son or my daughter says, I would like to try skating, I would like to try hockey, I'm going to try to see if they can do hockey. I've read some parenting books. I've been challenged that you don't try to just bend your children to your preferences, your hobbies. You try to help them discover what they're passionate about. I could maybe never play hockey in my life, but if my oldest or my second or my daughter says that they love hockey and all of a sudden that's their passion and you can see it brings joy and enrichment to their life, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to give them that exposure. I have never hunted a day in my life. I have no desire to hunt a day in my life. I don't understand y'all who hunt. And I know I'm pointing to some people who hunt. Good for you. That's great. Pow pow, twang twang. Like, good for you. Okay? But what if I wanted to try hunting? Well, I'm not that good of a hunter. I don't know where to start. And like, I don't even know the things. I don't know how to get a ticket. And I don't know where to go. I don't even know how to shoot a gun. That is true. Those are all very, very real realities. Although now I do know how to shoot a gun. I've done a thing called shotgun golf. You're welcome, everybody. Changed my life. Apparently, I found out I have decent aim with a shotgun. That's great. Yeah, it's true. You're not going to know how to do something, and you're not going to know how to do something well right off the bat. But what if you try a little step and set your bar low? I'm so proud of my wife. I'm so proud of my dad. They just said, you know what? We're not going to be perfect at this, but let's give it a shot. Let's try this health journey. Let's do a workout our way. I'm not going to compare. I'm just going to do this for me. And that was the biggest thing. Let's sit there for a moment. That was the biggest thing, chat, is you can tell when someone's doing it for the wrong reasons, right? You can tell their heart's not in it, or you can tell by the way they talk. You're like, dude, this is not the focus. I'm going to say it again. Canned has honestly kept me accountable when I've been like, dude, like, I don't know if I'm not sure about the stream, or I don't feel like I'm doing a good job, and then Canned will like literally interrupt me. He's like, are you having fun? Now, sometimes I've been like, I don't know. He's like, well, then you should assess if you're having fun. But other times I'm like, yeah, I really enjoy this game, or I really enjoy what we did. He's like, then that's what counts. It's bugging me right now, like thinking about how many things I've disqualified myself from, how many things I couldn't practically justify, because that is the problem too. And I've already explained this. I'm a very practically minded human being. It needs to have value. Well, I want to get really good at hacky sacking. Well, why? That won't benefit me in my life. I'm not going to do it. Like, that's my mentality. Like, what good is hacky sacking in my life. And never once, I shouldn't really say never once, but it definitely isn't a trained behavior where I'm like, does it just bring me happiness? Maybe I should just do it because it makes me happy. Never. Like, it just really doesn't pop in my brain. But guess what? Guess what, guys? Guess what? I'm going to try now. I'm going to try doing that now. You want to try something? You want to learn a language? Like, poo-poo on me for being like, Paula's like, I'm thinking about like, maybe I want to, like, she was joking kind of, but she's like, maybe I want to learn Korean. I'm like, but Korean isn't like a universal language. Like, why? What? She's like, I want to learn Korean because I like BTS and I like K-pop and it sounds like a fun language and I watch K-dramas a lot. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like, why is this? Why do I have to crap on it? She could say I want to learn Russian. I want to learn Mandarin. I want to learn, like, whatever else. Portuguese, for crying out loud. And I should say, good on you. Have fun. I hope you have fun. And that's the problem, is I'm really struggling at learning how to have fun because I want to get to step 100. I don't even want to try conquering step 1. Now, the few things I'm so grateful, even in my health journey, I'm grateful that I didn't have crazy expectations. Did I struggle with them? Oh, sure as hell did. Man, I hated looking at like the cast members for the workout videos. I hated looking at some of my coworkers who'd been doing P90X for years. And I'm like, I don't even know these exercises. Like I felt so stupid, you know, for a bit. And thankfully, I somehow persevered. Like, I'm very, very thankful. It wasn't like, well, I'm never going to work out as well as these guys and just walk away. Very grateful for that, actually, because guess what? That has built the case in the background of my brain where when I'm ready to do that instant math and be like, it's not even worth my time, I'm not even going to try that thing, my brain's like, I mean, you lost 30 pounds not by being the best person who works out, but just by starting, just by trying. Which brings me back to my friend's innocence with the guitar. That didn't even thankfully enter his mind. He wasn't like, I really want to endeavor now to be a professional guitar player. Instead, it was, I want something that brings me happiness. I want something to practice. I want something to maybe master or maybe just to pluck away from. Do you understand? I just want to try. Axel, I want to commend you with your card making group. Phenomenal. Now, if that has some practical case in the background and that's a really big motivator, great. That's fantastic. Okay. I'm just saying, great. But if it's just even the fact you like those people and you freaking like making cards and it brings you joy, I applaud you. I mean that non-facetiously. Because you're doing something that just brings value to your life. And I don't know, you're a pretty artsy person, but maybe card making the first go around wasn't the greatest success. Maybe you were very self-conscious about it. Maybe you weren't. But now that you kind of know the rhythm of the group and you're having fun and making it your own, I bet you that doesn't even cross your mind at times. Oh, gee, I don't make cards like so-and-so. No, not even. You're just like, I'm going to card making group. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome. It's the hard part, man, about groups, about hanging out with people. I still suck at hanging out with people in groups because they typically do an activity I've never done before. That incredible insecurity, that self-consciousness where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go ice skating. Like, seriously, I'll bring it back to hockey. I really, really don't want to. There you go, Axel. Yeah, I've been doing it for ages. Doesn't cross my mind anymore. Exactly. And it brings you joy. But I tell you right now, if you invited me with 10 other friends to go ice skating, I would hate it. I would hate it. Because I'm not looking to try to get better. I'm not looking to try to become, I'm not looking to just try to hang out with my friends and do ice skating. I'm angry at the fact I suck at skating. And I'll be looking at everyone around me, being like, that person's skating backwards. That person's freaking doing like a spinorama, like figure skating. That's where my mind goes. And that, again, I really just want to quickly stress incremental growth, incremental steps. I've said it before. Hey, I've said it before. I want to try to do rap. It sounds ridiculous when I say it, but guess what, guys? I'm self-aware. It brings me joy. It's a fun challenge. I love the music. I love the style. It's an art form. I love writing lyrics. And my one friend just like gave me a verbal slap across the face because I was like, I don't know if anything will come of it, but I want to try it. And he's like, slap. It's like, that shouldn't even be on your radar. You want to do rap? Have fun. Right? Maybe you will. And guess what? What might happen? What do I have to lose? But maybe a year from now from actually sticking with it, maybe I can do some decent rap. Maybe I've written some song. Who knows? But if I do that instant math right now where I'm like, well, I can't do this and I don't know how to do that, and producing music is always a pain in the butt, and where am I going to get the time? I have 4 kids, I have a wife, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden you've talked yourself out of it. You haven't even tried this awesome hobby. You haven't even tried this great idea because your brain actually isn't maybe trying to sabotage you. There you go, Axel. I'm doing incremental game recordings of Elden Ring. Yeah, you are. Like, what is the metric? And again, though, guys, I'm preaching to the choir here because I'm always like, with streaming, being very self-conscious, I've always been like, I would be super deflated some nights, even when I had fun, because I'm like, oh, the metrics weren't there. I didn't have hundreds or thousands of viewers. Oh, no. The sponsorships aren't flowing through the door. Like, just like, and again, okay, look, I'm being very transparent, okay? But there's some of the thoughts where I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. It's all for naught because nothing has monetarily provided for me. Oh no. But here's the thing. Here's the tragedy of it. What would happen if I never streamed in the first place? In October 2019, I just decided, you know what? I don't know how to stream. I don't have a very good computer. I don't even know what I'm doing. Look at this backdrop. It looks terrible. It was a bed sheet, actually. It was a bed sheet. I had a bed sheet for my backdrop. And before that, the first stream, it was in front of, I think, my shelf of, like, pantry food. Playing Half-Life. Yeah, I just had, like, canned food right behind me. It's great. What happened if I did the math? I'm like, I don't even know. And I just never did it. What about the podcast? Guys, I had a MacBook and I had a gaming headset sitting on my couch at the end of the couch. I remember it very clearly. Do you guys remember the OG RussRantz theme song, by the way? I forgot about it until I showed my parents one of my early episodes, and it was like, RussRantz. Do you remember that? No? You don't remember that? I made that in like 15 minutes because I needed a theme song for the RussRantz podcast. It was great. It was great. It was fantastic. What happened if I did the instant math and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what podcasting is. I don't even know if this is going to sound good. Thankfully, I was too stupid. I don't know. I was just doing it for me. Thankfully, again, one of the few things in my life I'm thankful for that I just did it for me. And look, we're having fun. I'm doing it. And I enjoy podcasting. Now, yes, there are some metrics now I get to enjoy and be like, wow, more than like 2 people are listening to it. That's awesome. And that's great. But how do you get from, you know, from Austin Post to Post Malone, or never Post Malone, but you become a happy Austin Post? If you don't know who that is, just YouTube Post Malone. I'm just saying. But Austin Post moved to California to help his buddy out with a YouTube channel, wrote some songs, had a lot of fun, made a song because he loved it, put it on SoundCloud, and his life changed. Now, the sexy thing is to be like, you too can do that, right? That's the sexy thing. You too can be Post Malone. Maybe you are the next Post Malone. Maybe the next song you write is going to... And yet it wrecks so many people because that becomes their instant metric. My favorite stories are ones like Avicii and Zed, who just freaking loved producing music. They loved it. They just love it. My youngest brother watched and followed and subscribed to Zed. Do you guys know who Zed is? I don't know if you know who Zed is. He's a really good DJ. He's in mainstream music now, but like before, he was a small YouTuber. Lyndon subscribed to him when he had like 10,000 subs. Crazy. And he's like, and the thing was, the guy wasn't shouting out for fame. He wasn't urging us to follow. He wasn't urging us to sub at the end of everything. He just showed us his music. And he did it, and he loved it. It was powerful. Yeah, those stories are fun to watch because they weren't even looking. Yeah, maybe they were dreaming of it. I would love to do this for a living, but if nothing comes of it, I'm still doing this for me. And then they do get famous and make a living from it. You're like, wow, that's amazing. That's cool. I really struggle because I'm on the opposite side of the pendulum where it has to be practical for me. I have to do it for value. And I'm realizing that is unrealistic. It's not healthy. It's unrealistic again. And I'm not trying to live in regret. I'm just like going through my mental list where I'm like, man, I really pre-forfeited a lot of awesome hobbies. I was getting into biking as a teenager. I could do wheelies. I wanted to try doing some tricks, but then I accidentally bent the front wheel of my bike at the time, and I was just like, this is too much work and too much money to fix. And who knows? I probably wouldn't have done anything with it anyway, so I'm going to stop. And I stopped. I haven't biked really to this day. It's crazy. It's crazy. All these things that are coming through my mind. So here's the dealio. The power of increments. One step and try to do it for you. One step and try to do it for you. I play Apex Legends terribly, but I do it for me. I enjoy it. I really enjoy that game. I do. It's fun. I can play it over and over again. Call of Duty, it's fine. It was still fun, but I cannot play that over and over again. I can't even play it by myself without being like stressed. Apex by myself, I love it. I love trolling randos. I love talking to randos. I actually really enjoy it. And I'm playing it for me. It's great. Streaming, do it for me. Podcasting, I'm trying to do it for me. It's crazy. Okay, so that's it. This is just a really common sense episode. This week, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, you can hit that follow button on the Twitch channel or that subscribe button on YouTube. Always helps me out. Or that follow button on Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's always great too. Always appreciate your support. Here's some quick housekeeping announcements. Coming up here in May, RussRantz stream is partnering with the St. Jude Play Live fundraising. Okay, we did that last year in May. We're doing this year in May. We are going to be raising some funds because Twitch partners with St. Jude's Hospital in the United States every year. And now you might be like, why St. Jude? Why that hospital? There's two reasons, actually. One, because it's kind of a Twitch family thing. It's kind of cool. And I like being a part of that big conglomerate for a great cause. Like, don't get me wrong. It has to be for a great cause. And I kind of like that. Number two, St. Jude's crazy. You actually go to stjude.org. It's crazy. Most of their support, a lot of their resources and how they help families regardless of financial situations in the United States. Remember, they got to pay for their health care, right? We are very fortunate here in Canada to have free health care, but down there, they don't. They have to use either very expensive insurance premiums or they have to pay for it out of pocket, which is crazy. And this is a children's hospital. And a lot of it they treat regardless of the financial situation of the families. Like that is not mainstream for hospitals in the United States. I'm going to tell you that right now. So a lot of it, like 80% of their operations are covered by individual donations. It's cool and it's awesome and it's crazy. So I love it. Yeah, I get it. It's the United States, but times are tough right now. We're still trying to get out of this pandemic, and it's scary and tough for parents and families that who have kids that are going through crap. Like so if you want to donate, you can go to RussRantz, twitch.tv/RussRantz. Go to my main page, scroll down, click the About button where you see all my information. And there's a big purple button there now that has a donate link. I don't care. 50 cents, $1, $2, $10, whatever. I'm gonna donate, and we're just gonna do it for the month of May, trying to bring awareness. So I'm gonna try to make sure I bring it up every stream, every podcast, just to throw that out there. You don't even have to like Twitch, you guys. If you're just like, hey man, I want to give to the cause $5 or $2. It is American, so just be careful with that. Okay, on the website, it's American, so you don't have to go crazy. $2, $4, I don't care. But anything's appreciated. I'm just doing it as a community. So, anyways. That is that. Next Tuesday, we'll just be doing another episode. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking around with the episode. For those that are live right now, Rants fam, and those hanging around here, thanks for hanging around. We're going to be doing some community night. We're going to do some Jackbox here in a moment. So, love y'all. Have a great week. Let's kick some grass. And, hey, man, I'm telling you guys, those who are not here right now for community night, you're missing out. We're going to do some fun games. Okay, come next time, every other Tuesday, twitch.tv. Okay. Bye-bye.